Hey y'all, it's Kelly from Dixie Darlins, and I'm back with another fun tutorial for y'all today. I've actually had all these tutorials planned, and then I started working on these templates with Kimberly Hobbs Taylor. She reached out to me and asked me if she could share some of her template designs, and I said, yes, please, I love them. What can we all create together? So I tried them, then she went live in the Facebook group with me one night, and she really changed the way that I do things. So I'm going to show y'all a little bit different technique of how I normally wrap the Dixie Darlins foil tape on the cup first and then do my design. I'm actually going to put it over a patterned vinyl. She put it over a solid sheet the night we were live, and I was like, wait a minute, let me pay attention here. And then I started thinking, why can't we do this over patterned vinyl? Because you could see through it so well to see what was underneath there, and then how I could layer foils over it to kind of give it a glittered effect. So I created this watermelon cup, and I absolutely loved it. And so I wanted to bring that to you guys and show you how I'm actually now creating the templates before I put them on the cup, and how I kind of go through the process of figuring out what colors I'm going to use. So I'm going to go more in depth about that today. And then also how I choose which foil to do first. So on a cup that I do all foils, I'm going to kind of talk out loud today with you about how I choose one versus the other, and the method to the madness of how I choose which one's going to go on the cup first, because some of them will end up covering the whole cup, and that's not what you want. And so there's little tips and things that I've just learned to do, and just to kind of explain how I pull my colors together and how I go about the process of choosing which one goes first and last, and etc. So I'm really going to try to spend more time on that, because I get a lot of questions about foils not working, not adhering, which colors do you choose, how do you, those type questions. So I really want to kind of think out loud today with you guys as much as I can to explain the process of how I create the template design. So anyway, and if you have not joined my Facebook group, please jump over and join the Dixie Darlins Facebook group. We have so much fun. I go live every Sunday night, and it gives me a chance to interact with you guys. And it's really where I get to hear what it is that I can do to help y'all and what questions you have. So hop over there and join us. And I hope that you guys enjoy this. You're going to see a lot of template designs coming, because that's all I've been working on. If y'all could see how many cups we're sitting here. So I hope that you'll enjoy them. Please feel free to ask any questions. You can ask them in the comments, and I'll try to keep up with them there. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey y'all, so we're starting with a template from Kimberly Hobbs. It's khobbsdesigns.com is her website. I will link it in the description box below. I've been using a lot of her fun templates. She's actually a tumbler maker. So one of the things I love about her templates is that you can tell that they are done by a tumbler maker. So I've just cut this out on my Cricut Air Explorer. I use the paper minus setting, and I set my pressure at hard, more, or I actually move mine up to 300, actually the number. So I'm just going to lay this over this sheet. This is actually a sheet of transparent vinyl from Banff. I really probably would have preferred to use an opaque sheet, but at this point, I kind of knew what I was going for, so I painted the back of the cup red anyway, where that was going to show through, where my template was going to show through. But y'all, Kimberly kind of revolutionized how I do these template designs. I always put the Dixie Darlins tape on the cup and then do my design on the cup. Well, she was live in my Facebook group, and she put it on a sheet of vinyl. And I was like, really, girl? She's like, yeah, I'm too lazy to paint my cups, spray paint my cups. She's like, so I just put it over vinyl. Well, we worked on, and she actually worked on this template that I'm using today. It's the bleach spot. It's super cute. Serape is the design called, and she did like a freedom, and it just turned out so good. And immediately I started thinking of all the things that I could do. But I thought, why do I have to put this over a solid color vinyl? Like, what if I put this over design, like a patterned vinyl? So I immediately thought of this watermelon pattern. I'd been wanting to do something summer and fun. And so I was like, you know what? Let me try it. Well, hopefully this will give y'all some little tips, and just helpful in ways that it has been to me, is that after I trimmed off that excess, so you can see I've just trimmed now, I've laid the template down on top of the vinyl. You can see I use my squeegee just to press it out. I have this decal that was actually in the April mystery box from the Vinyl Cottage. But I'm going to take that little extra piece of vinyl, of the watermelon vinyl. Then I'm going to take the extra piece that I cut off of the template, and I'm going to lay it on top of the vinyl. So what this allows me to do is see what these foils are going to look like once I layer them over the vinyl. So that was my biggest thing. You know, like sometimes I can think I'm going to know how something's going to lay over vinyl or over a glitter or over whatever I'm putting the foil over. But to be sure, I thought, why don't I just take the extra? So since I've recorded this, y'all, I've done a lot of templates, and this has been a lifesaver for me. And it just gives you an option to see these colors all down kind of on paper together. So this one is, and y'all, I'm not gonna know the names of these when I'm recording it. I will post them all below. This green one is one of my favorites. I think it's called Green Queen. This is actually the extra large Cheetah that was just recently released. And these are all from Southern Belle Glitter. And then I believe the next one is, I thought it was Hot Lips, but it's not. I will have to link it. I'm sorry, y'all, in the description box below. I think it's maybe on Wednesdays we wear pink, but I'm not 100% sure. And then this green confetti streamers. I think this is green streamers. I love this one too. And I really wasn't sure what I was going to use. And this one, y'all, is one of my new favorites. Along with Jackie, this one, this fine ice, I love it. I have been using it on lots of cups. So see how it gives me a chance to see exactly how those colors, number one, are going to lay together, but also how they're going to lay over the vinyl underneath. So because this green kind of see-through grid line foil, I know tends to stick to everything, and you're going to see, I'm actually going to use that first. So just because I have some experience, and once I laid it down on the little test piece over there, I knew that it was going to pull off all the whole thing. So you see the big white bleach spots at the top? That's not sticky, but this green grid line foil comes off so well that it's going to stick to everything, so I wanted to do that first. Then I'm going to go in with the Green Queen that's like this really pretty green sparkle. I love this. I wanted to get kind of the center stripe, the green. I wanted that to be like the majority, like the focus right up against the watermelon color. And then you'll see me kind of just go through. I'm going to speed through this just because y'all don't, I mean, you can watch it because I wanted y'all to see. But I knew how many colors I wanted to use, so I just alternated. I go down through and I pull those lines off, and then I'm going to go in with the extra large Cheetah. And this is like a little clay dotting tool that has a little circular end on one end, but it lets you really define those lines and get down in there with the Dixie Darlins tape with the foil. So I kind of use that. You can see sometimes I use my finger. Like some of them release easier than other, y'all. So I knew this one had a tendency to come off as well. And then the next one, I'm just going to kind of go through like, okay, I want to alternate the green Cheetah, the extra large Cheetah, and I don't want the greens to be next to each other. So I'm going to try to break them up with the pink and the extra large Cheetah. These pretty much all release the same. So at this point, I didn't really need to do that. But I just thought I would kind of point out, if you do these little test runs beforehand, you can kind of see how they release. Number one, you can make sure they're going to release over the vinyl color, so it's not going to show through and you're going to get the effect that you want. And then number two, like how that green grid line one at the top, you can see it's still covering up that white bleach spot. I'm going to pull that off and put it on there, but if I had used that one last, it probably would have still stuck to whatever foil I had there, just because some of those come off in like more of a sheet manner than they do in like sections. So because I had done a test of that, I kind of knew. So that's kind of one of the benefits to me of doing my little sheet, so I can see all the colors together. I can see how they're going to do over the vinyl, but then I also can kind of see in which order I need to go. So the rest of them were pretty easy. I do end up saving the pink one for last because there's several beautiful laser pink and red colors that I have, and they tend to scratch, like, if that makes sense. Like if you run your fingernail over it or if you run something over it by accident, and especially when I'm trying to get these lines pretty straight here, I wanted the pink to be the last because I didn't want to take a chance of it getting scratched. So that was kind of my process. And because I had done a test with that before, I knew that it had a tendency to scratch real easy. Some of them you can't tell, but you can see how like perfect this color is. I wanted it to stay like that on my template. I did not want it to get scratched up or whatever. So that was kind of my reasoning for using that one last, and they're really the only reason I knew that. So I think it turned out super cute, y'all. So you are going to see me kind of take my decal. That's another thing, and it's a clear It does have a white background, but I wanted to see what it was going to show up with. And I kind of trim out around it just so there's not that big extra, transparent over there. And I thought I might be putting the silver, but I didn't like the way it looked over a silver. I thought it was too distracting. So this is kind of like a holographic white foil. I will link the actual name in the description box for y'all as well, but there's actually a white, and then this is more of like a translucent holographic white that I tend to like using better than just the stark white. And I just thought it was the perfect little backdrop to kind of just offset our little decal here. And basically, y'all, I mean, this is your design. Like, I've been doing these babies on the cup, and I promise you, you'll be hard-pressed to see me do another one. Now, I've done some with glitter, and I've done some with the foil dust. It is not that hard to apply them to the cup, even after that. I just spray seal them with some clear acrylic sealer before I go to put it on the cup. So you can see I did paint this because I'm going to do the bottom green, and I wanted, since that vinyl was transparent, I wanted the top to be over a red background. And then I'm going to add green foils to the bottom. So Kimberly actually told me when we were doing this on the live that night that it's easier to line up your lines, to meet your seam if you do it first. And let me tell y'all, I text her the next morning. I said, girl, where have you been my whole life? Like, I have been making these template cups for, I know, a year now. And nobody's ever said to me, hey, girl, you're doing it the hard way. So I'm the first always to admit when I have failed, you guys, and I have been doing something the hard way. And it's just like, isn't that such a crafter thing? I said, like, we just get in our routine. And I told her, I said, I don't know if she wouldn't have been doing it live with me that night if I would have probably ever done this. Because I've seen people do it. And I think just in passing, and I just kind of like, oh, it's like we in our craft world, it's like, okay, I get in my way and it just works, so why would I change it up? And not in like a I know better kind of way, but just like, hey, it works, like just keep doing it, And when I started watching her live, I was like, wait a minute, I got to try this. And y'all, really, it worked so well. And her templates are designed so well for things like this. Like her adding that bleach spot in there. That is a tumbler maker that works on tumblers every day to know that we would want something like that. So anyway, y'all, I just lined this up just like I wrap vinyl, and I just trimmed off the very edge. I placed that down, and I continue to wrap it around just like I would any of my vinyl. So I did add a layer of quick coat there, y'all. I'm so sorry I forgot to record the epoxy process. Sometimes that happens to me. I think about recording at my desk and then I forget when I put epoxy on. But I did do a layer of Counterculture's quick coat just to seal it in, to make sure all those places were covered up of the adhesive so the epoxy wouldn't repel it. And then I did use a coat of Counterculture's medium viscosity, and I used about 20 milliliters, and I let that dry for about 8 hours. Now I'm taking Southern Belle's foil adhesive, and there's been a lot of questions lately about the adhesive and different foils, how they stick, how they don't stick. All I use is Southern Belle Glitter's foil adhesive. I'm just going to tell y'all. I've applied it to the bottom of the paintbrush. I'm using the heat. You definitely can let this dry by itself, but I just use the heat gun because I'm a little impatient. And then I'm going to take this same Green Queen foil and apply that to the bottom. And I just went right around the edges and just kind of blend it in so it looks like it's your next Serape line, and then it goes right around into the bottom. So all that being said, I have tried to use other things. Some of them work with some foils, but they don't work with all foils. And the Dixie Darlins tape works very well. The foils stick to it. That's actually how we designed it. Southern Belle Glitter and I designed this Dixie Darlins tape so the foils would adhere to it really well. And I can speak to other products, but the only thing that I've found that consistently works with all of them are the Dixie Darlins tape and the Southern Belle Glitter adhesive. There are other products that will work with some of them, but I personally cannot recommend them because I've not had success with every foil with them. And I try, y'all. I try to use things that y'all have every day. So this is a holographic silver vinyl, and I thought, let me put some stripes around this on the back to kind of hide my crease there, my seam there. And I thought, let me just use these same foils and see if I can do that. So I took where I'd cut out the little grid lines, and I'd already pulled out the lines to use on another cup. So it was kind of alternating. So once I put that foil adhesive down, it wouldn't cover all of them, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and applied the Southern Belle Glitter Adhesive. I'm going to take this same Dream Queen foil here, this green. I think it's Green Queen. Sorry, y'all, I keep getting this wrong. The words are too close together. And I'm just going to, I used a little heat to dry that off, and then I'm going to apply the foil on there. And then I'm actually going to use this, and then I use the holographic silver, and then I also do another one with the pink. And I kind of make it a 3 stripes down the back. So it kind of blended it in a little bit more. I'm not big on just doing the 1 stripe, but I thought, how can I make this kind of seem seamless without it being kind of stand out too much? So that's all I did. And you've got your vinyl, so you can apply the foils right to the vinyl. And there you go. So, and then I add another pink one, so it kind of makes it a little more cohesive. And then I added a couple of little silver stripes, one to the bottom and one at the top of the green, you know, like the break right under the decal. So, and then that's another thing that I wanted to make sure that you guys know about Kimberly's templates. She has some that have outlines, y'all. So I think that's great. So you don't have to recut the whole template if you're looking to outline some of the little lines or any kind of your pinstriping. So here's the final design. I did go in, obviously, and add 2 coats of Counterculture's medium viscosity. I let that dry. And I just love how this turned out. I think it was so quick, so easy, such a fun summer design. So I will link all the products that I use and the colors, y'all, I promise, in the description box below. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all again soon.